Hi everybody, welcome back to Noctis Gaming. My name is Dion. This is the next episode of our Xenos series, and today we're going to be looking at the very interesting and yet terrifying Enslavers. The Enslavers are known by a few different names. These include the Sirens, Krell, Dominators, and Puppeteers. They are a xenos species that originates from the Immaterium and are similar in appearance to jellyfish. They are around 2 meters tall and have a thick, leather-like skin. They are able to change the colour of their skin, but often appear brown. They have a large eye on the top of their body, which is normally either orange, pink, or red. We call it an eye, but we don't actually know if it serves as an eye or if it has some other function. They have a number of tentacles and can glide up to 3 meters from the ground. The Enslavers would travel through the Immaterium, often in packs of 3, and are drawn to psychers in real space. The Enslavers would then use this psychic being as a host, forming a parasitic connection. After a few days, the mind-controlled host would turn into a warp gateway, which allows more Enslavers to travel to real space in search for new hosts. This is why they have been named Enslavers by mankind, and it is said that each one can control up to 10 beings each. The victims of this mind control would act as puppets for the Enslavers, doing whatever their parasite wishes. This mind control does have a limit to its range, however, and is believed to be around 50 meters. If the host was to go beyond this limit, the mind control would be broken. It has not been determined if the Enslavers are sentient, self-aware beings by the Inquisition or the Magi Biologus of the Mechanicum. Even though they do appear organised in their attacks, they have never actually communicated with another living being. No one has ever witnessed them use any sort of technology or tools. They just get their hosts to do any manual labour. Beings that are possessed by Enslavers do not show any signs unless they become a warp gate. They just subconsciously do the Enslavers' bidding, often with the desired outcome to possess more psychers, thus allowing more Enslavers into real space. Powerful and sanctioned psychers are able to fight against the mind control for a while. However, given enough time and increase in pressure, they will always succumb. The earliest known appearance of the Enslavers happened around 60 million years ago in an event later named the Enslavers' Plague. As a result of the war in heaven, a war against Necrons and the Old Ones, the Immaterium became very unstable. In turn, this led to a huge rush of Enslavers entering real space via Eldari hosts. This actually means that many believe the Enslavers actually predate the Chaos Gods. The Enslavers and armies of their mind-controlled thralls assaulted the strongholds of the Old Ones, which helped lead to their destruction. There is a theory that the Enslavers are responsible for the dark pattern. The dark pattern is a collection of dead worlds located in the Jericho Reach. This is a subject that I will cover in detail in a future video. In 260993 of the 41st millennium, enslavers were discovered in the Scintilla section. In the Calixis sector, they were, however, successfully defeated. The Necron Lord, Trazyn the Infinite, is said to have an ossified husk from an enslaver in his collection. Another encounter with the enslavers happened during the Age of Apostasy, in an event that would later be named the Nemesis Incident. In the 36th millennium, there was an increase in warp storms, which meant there was more demon activity than normal. As a result of this, a Space Marine chapter called the Storm Wardens travelled to the Stirrups cluster to combat this. When they arrived, they discovered a number of planets along the outskirts of the warp storm were under the control of an extremely large infestation of enslavers. The chapter were exploring some ruins on one of the planets when they came under attack, at first by an army of mind-controlled humans, and then by what they described as enslaver behemoths. What these behemoths were is unknown, but I think it's safe to say that they were either bigger than normal or more powerful than normal enslavers. Many battles were fought between the Storm Wardens and the enslavers until 3 whole planets has been cleansed of the xenos threat. The casualties, however, were too large, so the 7 remaining planets in the system that were under the control of the enslavers suffered the writ of exterminatus. Now that the sector had been cleared, the Storm Wardens travelled back to their homeworld of Sacris. All is not as it seems, however, as it looks like they have brought something back with them. A number of the first company had been tainted by some sort of psychic corruption. The Lord Inquisitor that had been stationed with the Storm Wardens demanded that those tainted be terminated. The chapter master of the Storm Wardens, Glenduir, was not happy with this and convinced the Lord Inquisitor of a new plan. The whole of the first company, including himself, will be put in stasis until such a time that there was a cure for the enslaver taint. The homeworld also had to be cut off from the rest of the Imperium, and all mention of the Nemesis incident be purged. After looking into the enslavers, we can clearly see that they pose a true threat to any beings they wish to possess, and the only real way to get rid of them is through exterminatus. In the actual game of Warhammer 40,000, I can only really see them either being in a kill team or a small group of them controlling a large army of mind-controlled thralls. I do actually have what I think is a really good idea for a narrative campaign involving enslavers, but I'm going to keep that one to myself, as I feel that would make a really good narrative story on our YouTube channel. So what are your thoughts of the enslavers? Have you seen them involved in any battles? Any really cool conversions? If so, then please pop them in the comments down below. Also, please consider subscribing, giving the video a like, and hit that notification bell so you can see when our next videos appear. If you're listening to us on a podcast, then please consider a positive review. Thank you very much for listening. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.